Well, let's imagine that the rear of this house here has an existing tree some distance away from the house footprint. What we want to do is to accurately locate that particular tree. Let's imagine it has a fairly substantial trunk, and we can measure from the corner of the house here to the front of the trunk, and from the second corner of the house way back to the same point. So we have a couple of measurements taken on site, 10745 for this distance, so 10.745 metres, but remember everything in CAD in the metric system is in millimetres, so the other distance will be 17.479 millimetres. So what we want to do is to locate the circle here accurately. So let's remove all of these. These are just construction lines to help us. So the dotted line there represents the measurements that we've taken on site. So let's drag across like so, picking bottom right to top left. That selects all the information that I've put on there to frame this little story, and we'll erase them. So now what we want to do is to draw and locate that trunk. And to do that, I've left drawing colour at red. What I'm going to do is to put two circles in red based on distances. So we have, in fact, what we might do is draw the first one in red and the second one in yellow to distinguish them, and that's quite a good habit to get into. So it's draw a circle, and where the two circles intersect, of course, will be the front of the trunk of the tree. So centre radius, we're asked to specify the centre point for the circle. Don't zoom in and try and pick the line. Move over and select the Entity Snap Endpoint option, and that locates us accurately here. And we're dragging out in the direction we want to go, and the distance for the radius is 10,746 millimetres, so 10,746, and hit enter. What we'll now do is change our drawing colour to yellow, and we'll repeat the circle. This time we've measured from the extreme corner of the house, and in this direction here, 17479, 17479, and hit enter. Now we have two intersecting circles, so now we can locate the tree. So we can draw, maybe we've established that the diameter of the tree trunk is 350 diameter, so centre point for the circle. Just drop it down somewhere, pull out, and pick a radius of, well, maybe it's a very big tree with we'll go 200. So we're going to say that's a 400 millimetre tree. Now, when we select the circle, you'll notice it has a number of control points on it. What we need to do, or what we want to do, is to move the front control point down here, that handle that's called, over to the intersection of those two circles. So you can do that in a number of ways. I've selected the little circle representing the trunk, so I can right click and pick move. The base point for the displacement will be that bottom grip, and we're going to move it over here. I'll zoom in a little, and we want that to sit at the intersection of those two. So come over here to the Entity Snap intersection, and we're done. I'm in the habit then of removing those two circles which were simply there for construction to locate that tree accurately. So we can erase them. So now we have the tree in position. We can pick up a symbol representing an established deciduous tree, and we could move it and pick it up at the centre point. So it's now selected, so we can say right click and move. It's asking for a base point, so we can click in the insertion point there, and then we can come over here, and I'll roll in a little, and what we want to do is put that in the centre of our circle. So again, it's the centre option in the Entity Snap, and we click, and that locates the tree accurately in position. So now, by taking a couple of measurements on site, we've located that tree. Perhaps the next step would be to locate the back boundary across here. We might take a measurement from that corner up into that corner, and from here into another corner. That would give us the back boundary of the site. Well, imagine that the back boundary sits on top of a sloping area which slopes down into this area, and we need to build a retaining wall through there which will encompass that particular existing tree. Then we can fill in the design in the area around it. So that's how to accurately locate an existing tree on the site.